What's up, family? This Peebo, the Fairweather rider. Let me get out this garage. What's up, family? This is Peebo, the Fairweather rider. This time I'm going to make a short video. I just want to get the motorcycle out to get it warmed up. While I'm getting Ruby warmed up, I also just want to tell y'all a little bit about myself. I am originally from Memphis, Tennessee, born and raised. I joined the military when I was 17. Did 4 years as an enlisted soldier. Got out of the military, went to college. Let me go back. I joined the military when I was 17. Did 4 years as an enlisted soldier. I was stationed in Germany for my first duty station. For my second duty station, I was at Fort Polk, now Fort Johnson. I did a total of 4 years. Got out of the Army, decided to go to college, used the GI Bill. And while I was in college, I participated in the ROTC program, which enabled me to receive a commission. So I went back into the Army as an officer, did a total of 20 years, and retired. I stayed retired for about a year and decided that since I was the only one in the family who had decided to retire, meaning my wife was still working, I decided to go back to work. And I now live in central Louisiana. While I was in the military, I started riding motorcycles. I will say that I was always infatuated with motorcycles, even when I was a teenager. Just never really had the resources to go out and get a motorcycle of my own. Around 2006, I took some private lessons. Then went out and bought my first motorcycle. It was a 2007 Suzuki Boulevard M50. I rode that bike for about a year. I sold it. When I sold it, it probably had about 5,000 miles on it, so I was able to get pretty much what I paid for it. And from that Suzuki M50, I graduated to a Kawasaki Nomad, which was a 1600 cc. I kept that bike from 2007 all the way to 2015. I was still in the military during this time, and realized that as much as I enjoyed riding, I wasn't really doing a whole lot of riding. So when I sold that Kawasaki Nomad, it had less than 10,000 miles on it. I sold it because I was getting ready to move from Louisiana to Virginia, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to ride while I was living in Virginia. I also sold my Kawasaki Nomad with the intent of buying myself a full-dress touring motorcycle. I initially told myself I would have it within a year, and just kept delaying and delaying and delaying until I finally decided in the summer of 2023 I was going to get a motorcycle regardless. So for me, it came down to the two American-made motorcycles, Harley-Davidson and Indian. I spent a little time doing research, looked at a lot of YouTube videos, and ultimately decided to get Ruby, which is my 2023 Indian Pursuit. I would never make a video where I'm bashing one brand over the other, because I think Indian and Harley-Davidson make great motorcycles. I just thought that the Indian gave me the things that I was looking for at a price point I was willing to pay. Like most people, I believe that a choice of motorcycle comes down to a personal preference, and at that time my personal preference was the Indian Pursuit. As I said earlier, I bought this motorcycle in the summer of 2023. This would have been before Harley Davidson came out with those 23.5 CVOs and redesigned the fairing for the 2024 year for their street glides and road glides. Would I have made a different decision had those motorcycles been available? I don't know. To be honest with you, I haven't really looked into them enough to determine whether or not it would have made a difference. But what I do know is that I am more than pleased with the choice that I made, and I have no regrets. To give you a point of comparison, I had the Nomad 1600. I had that motorcycle from 2008 to the end of 2015. So we're talking somewhere around 7 years, maybe a little more than 7 years. And when I sold that bike, it had less than 10,000 miles on it. I've had this Indian Pursuit for a little over a year, and it already has over 10,000 miles on it. If you saw one of my previous videos, then you saw that I did an iron butt challenge where I rode this Indian Pursuit from central Louisiana all the way to El Paso, Texas. I've ridden this motorcycle on day trips. I can tell y'all that this is the most comfortable motorcycle that I have owned, and arguably the most comfortable motorcycle I ever ridden. I have ridden not the new Harley Davidsons, but 2023 and earlier. I've ridden the Road Glide. I've ridden the Road Glide CVO. I've ridden the Street Glide. I've ridden the Road King. I have ridden the Pan America. I've also ridden the Livewire. And I still say arguably this is the most comfortable motorcycle I've ever ridden. I am quantifying that by saying arguably because I've been on this motorcycle for 3-4 hours at a time. And the longest I have ever ridden one of those other motorcycles, I rented a Harley Davidson Street Glide Ultra Limited, and I was on that for about 3 hours. The other ones I've probably been on for no more than 20 minutes at one time. But I still think this is arguably the most comfortable bike I've ever ridden. If you go back and look at the 10,000 mile review that I did on this bike, you'll understand why I feel that way. In that video, I talked about 5 things that I like about the motorcycle, then added some additional comments, and then some of the things that I don't like about the motorcycle, and added some additional comments. But overall, I am more than pleased with this motorcycle, and if I had to do it all over again, buying a motorcycle in the summer of 2023, I would have made the same decision. passed by the police. Didn't realize it until I waved at him. He waved back though, I think. So, as I was saying, I have ridden this bike everywhere. I started to record a video of me traveling from central Louisiana in June. I was on my way to Traveling Tall Run to the Hills 4. I made it all the way to Birmingham, Alabama, and then the bike started to overheat. So I decided to cut the trip short, bring the bike back to Louisiana and get it looked at. That is the only major, if you can consider that major, that's the only problem that I've had with this bike since I've had it. That required it to go into the shop for a mechanical problem. So, I've only had one issue, maybe two issues with this bike since I've had it. I think most people who got that bad batch of tires from Indian dealt with their front end wobble. Once I identified the problem to the dealer and showed them how to recreate the problem while they were testing it, I had no problem with getting them to replace the front end, replace the tire. When they replaced my tire, they also replaced my front rim. And it's all covered under warranty. The only other issue that I've had with this motorcycle is when I was traveling from central Louisiana to Traveling Tall's Run to the Hill in Knoxville, Tennessee. When I got somewhere around Birmingham, Alabama, my bike started to overheat. So I decided to cut the trip short, bring the bike back to my home dealership so they could check it out. And when they checked it out, they said that the thermostat was sticking. Again, there was another repair that was done under warranty, and everything is all good. Those are the only two issues that I've had. I've been keeping the maintenance up on this bike, getting it serviced according to the recommended schedule, and riding. When I go on long trips, I ride with Harleys, Indians, Victories, Hondas, and this bike has no problem keeping up with that Honda Goldwing. Test out these heated grips and see how well they heat up. Since it's never really cold in Louisiana to really test these heated grips or heated seat, I rarely get an opportunity to do it. So for the first time, I'm turning on the heating grips to see whether or not I can feel them through my gloves. I can feel it now. Alright, y'all. Gonna run to Walmart. Pick something up right quick. I'll be right back.
This is Peebo, the Fairweather Writer. I'm going to conclude this video right here. Before I do, I want to thank you all for staying with me to the end. If you're starting to enjoy the videos that you're seeing, press like on the ones that you really enjoy. Consider subscribing to the channel so we can grow this channel together. Also, leave me a comment. If you leave a comment, I will respond to it. Until the next video, you know what I ride. Whatever you ride, if you like it, get out there and put some miles on it. I'll be back.